Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of Unscripted. I'm Dylan, I got Fabian here and Chad, who I accidentally introduced as Fonzie at the start. Long story, don't judge me, you'll find out. Tonight we're diving straight into dreams, the weird ones, the deep ones, the ones that make you wake up questioning your whole life. Before we get into it, I really want to emphasize this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps a ton as we're all new to this and we want to keep this thing rolling. Alright, let's get straight into the episode. Hello and welcome to Unscripted. Today we've got Fonzie, Fabian.
Wait a second, hold on a minute. How come he's Fonzie and I'm Fabian? What's up with that? That seems like
that's just his name. He was born like that. We can't help it.
I've got to have a name, right?
I mean, do you want a nickname?
What's your name on this?
Dylan.
Why is this one Fonzie?
Well, I tend to just call you Clary most of the time.
Yeah, Clary, Dylan, whatever.
It rolls off the tongue a bit better than Dylan.
I'll call you Fabes, is what it is. But anywho, aside from that who's he, what's it, today we're going to be talking about dreams and a little bit about sleep. We're not scientists, we're not doctors, we don't know the full detail about it, but we're going to talk about what we know and we're going to make fun of it. Alright, so I've got a question for the both of you two.
Okay.
What is your personal theory on why we dream?
Oh wow, I've got a lot to say on this, so I might let Chad go first.
Alright.
No, you go ahead. I need some time to organise my thoughts.
Okay.
You might be able to bounce off you, Fabe, so
Well,
that's alright.
Yeah, I have a lot of interest in Jungian psychology and dream theory, and how I see it is dreams are the unstructured thought of the unconscious before that thought becomes conscious. And so what I mean by that is that language is a secondary phenomena. It's an abstract way of representing the primary phenomena, which is reality, which is very visual and image based, which is why dreams are in the language of visuals. And to communicate meaning that's beyond what is known, dreams extend the known symbols through metaphor by creating very strange compositions to bridge beyond what is traditionally represented by those symbols. So for example, an example I use often, if it was a chair on top of a big Christmas tree and someone's sitting on it, it might represent the instability of power, you know, in terms of being...
I've heard about that before.
Yeah, so...
Is it like a Christmas tree or?
It's just something that I just thought of as an example once.
Just like on top of the tree.
I just made it up.
Just like certain patterns that derive in dreams. But like you kind of get theories around those. Is that right?
I guess, yeah. What I'm trying to suggest is that, you know, a big part of our thinking is unconscious and deeper mind in that way, and that thinking intrinsically doesn't know language. Language is something that's taught, but something that is sustained across anyone naturally are archetypal understandings of reality. And that's things like intuition and instinct. And symbols are really good at speaking to that. And a fun example that a few people relate to is, you know, their pet cat freaks out at a cucumber. That's because the cucumber represents, you know, the predator of a snake. And despite cats who have never even lived in countries with snakes, they have that fear instilled in them just based on, you know, what it represents symbolically.
Seeing that little toy,
a green sort of long,
ground, you know, that kind of looks like a slithery thing, and then they see something in real life that slithers, but even if they don't see it, it corresponds into their dreams.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I do remember reading a paper a while back. I'm not sure who posted it, but it was about how we actually learn things and how most people pick up visual learning more than anything else. So integrating visual learning into, well, I think they were integrating it into schools and things like that more to help people remember, because from the time you're born, unless of course you're blind,
that would do it.
Everything you take in is visual from that point forward, and that's what we rely on as a lot of our like proof of concept and things like that. You know, you hurt, you go ow, but you confirm when you look and you see your cut.
Yes.
You know, so we get so much information from that. I'm not surprised that we turn that into subconscious thought as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it's just like, you know, language is something that you learn and adopt as a tool, but the intrinsic like nature of, you know, our senses is obviously extremely visual as well as audio and so forth. And so, sure, yeah, maybe in the dreams you hear noises or sounds, and they have information that they represent. But primarily, it's the visual information that has the most, what would you say, sort of like depth to it in regards to what it can represent and communicate. And so, I'm really really big on the belief that dreams, despite how random and chaotic they seem to others, I think truly that they're all very structured and very comprehensive in the narratives that they're suggesting.
100%, because I think I heard you mention something about Carl Jung.
Jungian psychology, Carl Jung, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know much about him.
No.
So
He's awesome. He's the coolest. I was reading quotes of his like earlier today. Just absolutely exceptional. Very, very deep.
So he was a psychiatrist and a
Psychologist.
psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And he was, a lot of his books are still very valid to this day. People read them and go through them, then they kind of do exactly what Fabian was just talking about, and then go. Some people write a journal before they wake up in the mornings on the dreams that they're having, and then they'll go through it, then they'll try and analyze it to see if there was any underlying meanings and why this was coming. Like, say you're going through a power struggle in your head in your dream, and that will correlate to something in your life at that moment, according to what like Carl Jung has, done his studies on, and he's found it very accurate to a certain degree, and he can relate it back to, almost 98% accuracy with most of his points that it comes to. And then, I think most psychiatrists realize that, and then
I'd like to add that also Jung was really amazing because of how holistic his approach was. So he was very big on understanding holistic.
I thought you said Hitler's stickers. I was
No,
like,
no, no Hitler stick here. No, holistic. He was very holistic. He paid heaps of attention to like religions and myths and the hero's journey and archetypes. I think he might have keyed the term anyway. There's this quote I just want to share. I saved this post today. And the quote is, "Modern man does not understand how much his rationalism, which has destroyed his capacity to respond to numerous symbols and ideas, has put him at the mercy of the psychic underworld. He has freed himself from superstition, or so he believes, but in the process he has lost his spiritual values to a positively dangerous degree. His moral and spiritual tradition has disintegrated, and he is now paying the price for this breakup in the worldwide disorientation and dissociation." And that's a very massive reality for a lot of people in modern times, is that disconnect and existential anguish that is very relatable and easy to find anywhere in your circle.
It very much is. All right, so covered that. Is that your personal theory?
Yeah. I like to call it the dialogues of the unconscious, which is the visual symbolic discovery of thought that
on why we dream.
I think dreaming is thinking. I really do believe dreaming is thinking.
So did we get back to you and what your theory of dreaming was, or did you want to go to the next question? That's completely fine.
Yeah, no, it's semi-similar. It's a representation of something that of our subconscious, in simple terms.
That was very good.
I very much agree with what Fabian said as well.
Left the mic down there, so I'm not sure if that got picked up.
Say it again,
I definitely would have, but you can try it again if you need to.
No, that's all good.
All right. So, have you ever had a dream that felt like your brain was trying to tell you something?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, I want to hit this to Chad because he's thinking about it. This first question is for Chad.
My mind doesn't go to dreams. It goes to
nightmares,
psychedelic trips.
All right, if you want to relate it back to that, sure, why not?
I mean, I have been a heavy cannabis smoker for a lot of my life, so I do not dream often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get a lot of symbolism and messages from trips, and at one stage in my life, I was doing them almost daily, and I ended up having a trip where I was like in the middle of a fireplace, and it wasn't hurting me at all, But I was like looking through and seeing like faces that I saw as my ancestors, and all of them essentially were like rushing in at me and telling me to like leave that world and stop focusing on like the psychedelic world and focus on the world in front of me. And I have not had a trip since then.
Wow. That's pretty strong symbolism right there.
It's cool.
And you, Fabian?
I mean, one, I haven't searched for one, but two, one hasn't popped up either.
How convenient. Yeah, I've had a few. The personal ones are kind of in mind at the moment. I would like to speak to something that I found quite fascinating from recent dreams, which is that although dreams can sometimes be the representation of deeper insights and epiphanies that become more conscious, and that's the process of it becoming conscious. I've noticed, and especially true of recent things, where conscious understanding and conscious-minded rationalism can actually be signaled back into the unconscious and into the deeper mind. And that was represented for me through my dreams, funny enough. And so there were things that went against my personal beliefs or my like instinctual, habitual ways of operating at a deeper level, you know, the uncritiqued, unrationalized approach to life that we all have in our different ways, right? You know, the like self-beliefs and stuff. I found that with my progress in moving through that on a conscious intellectual level and deconstructing it at that level, although different in the physiological, you know, instinctual sort of reality of how I react at the base level of things, there were dreams that were starting to represent that and represent those changes. And so, which shocked me actually, because they were really dramatic and quite excessive. And so, yeah, that was really cool.
Have you got one dream that you can think of that you have a feeling that you don't have to share full details?
Oh, right.
Just like something that was trying to tell you something intuitively, and you know you still think about it on a regular basis.
On a regular basis. I mean, this one's not necessarily about the intuitive like message, but it's something that I think about a lot because it was the most terrifying dream in my life. That was crazy. I was in this big giant tower, and it was all these, you know, like kind of like, is it the Usher paintings with the infinity stairs that keep looping, the square-like stairs, and it just keeps going around. It was like them, but obviously it seemed like I was going up or going down, whatever. And I went all the way down to the bottom, and I found the basement, and it was just this massive empty like void space with all these columns that just went on and on and on, and it had these red colors. And I started going back up, and I got, I don't know, somewhere up the tower, even if I feel like you could never get to the top. And there was two 14-year-olds, a boy and a girl, who stopped me on my way up. And they said, "We're going to possess you now." And I kept saying, "No, no."
Okay, whoa.
And then they...
Are you in there, Fabian?
They transformed into the most terrifying things that I could have ever have seen. And I remember waking up not being able to remember what they looked like because of how damn scary it was. And it was
how old were you when this happened? Was this quite recent or?
This would have been like four odd years ago, maybe 3. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was easily the scariest dream ever. I woke up, it was like 5 in the morning or something. I went and sat on like a chair in the lounge, and I just sat there and was like, oh god, okay.
So do you correlate that to a real life event, or
I do now? I didn't understand at the time, but I think it was relating to my sense of identity, independence, and autonomy, which was very much not in my control at that period of time in my life. And so I think, you know, that was a reality that was existing for me, which was as serious and bad as it was in the dream. Didn't mean it was, you know, supernatural or that anything like that, but it was literally in the sense of seriousness. That's what was happening for me.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because like I've had a similar dream, like not too similar, but I was on a roller coaster that would just keep on going round and around and around.
Oh, wow.
And every single time I turned around, there was just this big demon with like claws just right behind me the entire time.
Oh man, that's
you know,
wild.
I started having that dream when I was like 6 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I kept on going all the way up until I turned maybe 17.
Whoa, what did that thing look like?
A demon?
Yeah.
A scary demon.
Was it like red? Was it black? Was it horns?
So everything was in black and white.
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever the
Since
context
age
was that
6.
behind that, I have no idea.
Did you watch any scary films or anything
I always watch scary films.
before 6?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that was a big part of it. I don't know.
No, because it didn't it never reminded me of any movies that I'd ever watched. Never looked like any of the movies I'd ever watched. And there was when I stopped having it was when I was like, well, this is just a dream, in my dream. And I was like, I just like pulled the handbrake up, stopped it. I was like, okay, well, you've been chasing me for how long in a circle? What's going to happen? And then nothing happened, and I woke up.
Was that when you?
That's when I stopped having them.
Wow. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this reoccurring process, and then you changed your relationship to it, and then in itself it changed too. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I don't know what the functionality behind that dream or what it was trying to tell me. I spoke about it to someone else before, and they said that it was something to do with like how my childhood was, how my upbringing was, how we were constantly going around in a circle and not going anywhere. And then I just wanted to put a stop to it. But whether or not that's true, I don't know.
It's really fascinating. Yeah.
So I feel like we switched the pace up and talk about sleep for a little bit. Or do you want to keep talking about dreams?
I would like to
correlate?
add,
you want
like,
to add something?
yeah. There's this idea which I'm not as in touch with as I'd like to be, but I think it's got some genuine substance, which is that just like the scientific, right? It always has its iterations, and so we think we're really well defined with the rational intellectual thought, and because of the particularities and the conciseness of it, it seems like it's more real than anything else. But obviously, across time, those iterations change, and there's really massive differences from period to period of what actually is reality. But something that does seem to stay consistent is the metaphoric, symbolic, intangible representations of things in the thematic sense in terms of its narrative storytelling. And so in a weird way, like those things that we deem as fantasy fiction and not real in that regard are actually the most real things. Not that they're in the most literal sense, the demon on a roller coaster there with you on the ride, but in the non-literal, metaphoric, symbolic sense, there's like massive tangibility there. And I just find that super fascinating and interesting, that it's those things that are actually intangible that are the more real and carry across time and have the most impact on people too, actually, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going with it. It makes somewhat sense. I can't understand it all that much. I kind of zoned out.
It is.
Halfway through, I was just like, it's a lot of intangibility.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get Fabian to like talk into a AI that can summarize that. People like us who didn't go to university and some of the words just go. And you kind of get the meaning, but it's not 100%.
I guess what I'm saying is that the conciseness of intellectual rational thought makes it attractive as, oh, this must be right. It's the Occam's razor type thing.
Yeah.
But across time, it's the like intangible stuff, the metaphorical, archetypal stuff, which are lost in this like time period recently. But that's been the consistent thing that's always held its weight and gravity.
On what archetypes are?
Yeah.
Do you know much about those?
Yeah, archetypes by definition are the formless that find form, and so they're these constant patterns that represent things such as like the hero is one, the mother is one, the father is one, but they can take form in different ways. And so like in a Disney movie, like a bear can be a father figure in that way. Heroes and villains come in all sorts of shapes and sizes too. But because of the pattern, there's a way intuitively you can be like, oh, that's the villain in a film, or that's the hero, and you just know it. And so it's not in any of the concise like details of the hero must always have a sword, because he doesn't. But it's in the thematic sort of like in between the lines reading. Is what it is.
And you've also got like archetypes in psychology and literature and storytelling as well.
Yeah,
and
they're really
all,
important.
They all correlate to every single part of it. So it definitely makes sense. There's actually a pie chart here.
Yeah, I've just got to say that was a really good way of like explaining that off the top of your head.
Yeah, it was.
That was quite impressive.
Thanks, Chad.
It was perfect. So this little pie chart that I'm looking at, if you guys want to
Yes.
see that.
Yeah. Yep.
That looks pretty even.
So you've got your innocent, sage, explorer, outlaw, magician, hero, lover, jester, everyman, caregiver, ruler, artist. And you've got an ad.
Your advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all the different like roles in terms of like, you know, hero villain type stuff. There's one that's really good though, is the hero's journey one, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which I think is more relevant to people
Never
in terms
heard
of
of that before, but that's actually a great way to put it. You did it awesome there, Fabian.
thanks. Yeah, so the hero's journey, just to summarize a bit of that, is this pattern of experience that seems to be universal and true. And I don't know if it's tied to the Ouroboros, but it's basically a cyclic experience.
What's an Ouroboros?
So
For those that don't know.
Snake eating itself.
Yeah.
yes, which I don't truly know the meaning of that actually, but yeah, with the hero's journey,
It's kind of like the cycle of life.
the cycle of life. We gotta
It's an infinite
we gotta
cycle.
devour ourselves and rebirth, shed the skin. Yeah.
A circular symbol depicting a snake or less commonly dragon swallowing its tail as an emblem of wholeness or infinity.
Forever going.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know what the. If someone thinks it has something to relate with DNA, I have no idea. But the hero's journey, yeah, all about being disrupted and then rebuilding, reforming, and rising again. Yeah.
There's a whole lot of different meanings behind the Ouroboros.
Yeah.
I don't need to go through all of that right now.
That might be one to park, that one. That's a very complex symbol in some ways.
I kind of want to get that as a tattoo. It's sick. Why not? Just get it on my face.
Yeah, I guess to sort of close up on this point of the discussion, with like, I guess one way to think about it is, I have to think in coding, don't I? But when it comes to coding, you have your different websites that, you know, or different visual displays on your screen that arrange the pixels in the way that they do. But at the core of it, there's something that's less sensible, less meaningful, like the binary of code, right? Like that's something that near enough no one understands really. But it's the consistent thing that underlies all things and then gives rise to the representations of, you know, different websites and videos on YouTube and all the rest of that. And so I guess like symbology and the archetypal type stuff, those intuitive underlying essences that frame meaning below everything else, they're the thing that's consistent. And then beyond them, there's the, you know, the forming of logic and, you know,
that definitely
understanding.
makes sense. Like dreams, they correlate to so much within life. Were you still talking about dreams?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I just had to make sure I was getting
The
that correctly.
the
So
surreal
I'm going to
qualities.
do a complete 180. So we're still going to be talking about sleep. But this is more about how substances affect sleep. Like certain substances, weed, alcohol, caffeine, such and such. So the first question is, how do you personally sleep after drinking alcohol or caffeine?
Oh, Chad?
I don't know about the quality of sleep, but like after going out for a night drinking, I hit the pillow and I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to be. If I've got something to do, like taking my shoes off, I'll spend a good 10, 15 taking those off. But as soon as I actually go, nah, I'm good, I can go to sleep, I'm out.
Yeah.
But how solid that sleep is and regenerative, I don't know. Caffeine, I'm ADHD, so it's either way. I'll either get the boost or it'll knock me out.
Yeah.
I don't think it really. I don't have the judgment to say how it affects me because I don't have the best etiquette with sleep. So that makes sense. If I was consistent.
Well, do you find that drinking would improve your rate of sleep or lower it?
Well, I think, you know, usually that's connotated with a later evening or something of that regard, right? Just being out and socializing, and so in that way,
True.
yeah, my sleep's not better for it. I don't think it ever is. So, yeah, I guess there's a balance point though. Like, it does make you loosen up a bit and more relaxed. So, I don't know.
I can tell you one thing. Ever since I've cut caffeine out of my afternoons, I have had the best sleep. Seriously, like
Similar here, I did notice taking caffeine out after lunchtime improved my sleep. I wouldn't say I have the best sleeps now, like I'm similar to Fabian and have a complicated relationship with sleep, but...
I'm not waking up groggy anymore. Like, I've been doing it for the past... Like, I started 3 weeks ago and just slowly reduced my intake of caffeine throughout the day and just lowering it back to 12. Like, it was going from... I'd have 2 a day, 2 energy drinks a day for those wondering, which are quite high in caffeine, and your body takes a while to process all of that. So no pre-workout, don't touch that anymore.
Yeah, I can't have caffeinated like energy drinks and stuff just because of my heart. One of the biggest factors, because I had a like actual implant in my chest that read what my heart was doing, and it went from like stopping 300 times a month for varying lengths of time to I quit caffeine, and within a month it was down to like 20 times.
It makes a
So it was a
huge difference.
direct correlation to me drinking 1 to 2 Vs a day, and
Yeah, like
That's fascinating. Wonder how many other people have that, effect.
I would imagine it happens to quite a large number of people, because especially like you think about it, how many people do you know on a regular basis drink at least 2 or 3 energy drinks a day?
I know one person.
There you go. One person's enough.
That is enough.
And you got to think, how tight's your circle?
Yeah, relatively.
Some people have wider circles, so they've probably got larger numbers to pull from.
Oh, I guess that work now. Okay, maybe I know 3.
There you go. You've got your work circle. There you go. Like, it's definitely a problem. I feel like when people say that it helps them get to sleep, I kind of like just feel like they're lying to themselves, or they've gotten to that point where they're too tired anyway, so caffeine's not actually going to do anything.
yeah.
And I had to stop because I was waking up in the middle of the night all the time, and I was also getting bad sleep from where I was staying in the past because there was too much noise. But then as soon as I, minimized my caffeine intake, made sure I was only having it up before 12 o'clock. Like today I felt like an energy drink. I was like, it's past 12 o'clock, I'm not going to have one. All good. Got my water, had one of those Diet Cokes with no sugar and no Coke.
That's a good discipline. Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, good. And I was happy with that, but, had a tea now, so that kind of breaks it a little bit. But there's not much caffeine in tea.
Yeah, I just switched to decaf. So at the moment, I'll have 1 coffee in the morning, and if I feel like a coffee afterwards, because I just like the taste of coffee, I'll just have a decaf.
Yeah.
And I always promote drinking more coffee, but
Do you want to know something? Like, coffee
Different.
is actually really good for you.
yeah, I was about to say they actually,
Wait a minute.
like scientists
Yeah.
say that there is actually no, like they haven't found a cap on how much coffee you can drink where the benefit stops, like diminishing return. The more coffee you drink, because of all the antioxidants and flavonoids and different like chemical processes going on and that you get from it,
Like,
there is
coffee
no
is
end
generally
benefit
good
to
for
you with coffee.
But if you're having
Wow.
Like
coffee with milk
can
and
affect
sugar,
people differently. So the caffeine can be quite bad for you and your heart and body, but the actual
Do you
health benefits from coffee, there's no end to them.
do you have black coffees or just
No,
you have milk?
I have milk.
Yeah, so that's where it kind of like, if you have too much, coffees with milk in it, that's where it starts being a little bit worse for you. Long term, because your body has to break down the sugars within the milk and the fats. And then
Yeah,
also-
everything in moderation, and it depends on how your body is affected by
100%.
milk.
So sleep. Yeah. Alcohol, I have really good sleeps, but if there's someone next to me in the bed, I wake up like that every single minute they touch me. I feel like I'm in such a heavy, deep sleep, but going like that to me, I'm like, what the? I wake up instantly.
Wow.
So alcohol and sleep's just no good for me. So this question doesn't really correlate to you because you've never smoked weed before, have you?
Oh, I'll just turn my chair around now.
Yeah. So have you ever noticed how weed affects your dreams, fewer, stronger, or none at all?
Highly. So I swear I didn't dream as a teenager. I started smoking way too early at about 12 years old, heavily smoking from about 14, and I had maybe 1 or 2 dreams until I was about 21, and then I quit cannabis for a bit, and for the first week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I had such vivid dreams it was unreal, like completely insane. Like I was there, seeing everything, doing everything, and I had good recollection afterwards as well. Like straight after, I could have written down everything that happened like a storybook, and a week later, I can still remember quite a lot of the details. But that slowly teetered off after the 2 weeks, and it became what I guess normal people experience, which is the odd dream here and there throughout the week, and I'd remember little snippets, but nothing overly vivid.
No, I'm definitely with you on it. When I was smoking weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, I had less dreams than I normally do, but I did dream very often still. I'm quite a proactive dreamer. It's just something that even when I was smoking, I always wanted to dream. So I would proactively try and find ways to dream. I would listen to those lucid dream audios before going to sleep, and they're like, you gotta take a deep breath in, hold it for 10 seconds, take a deep breath out and breathe out for 10
Did
seconds.
they ever work for you? Because part of the reason I didn't dream as a teenager is because I was like quite a bad insomniac as well.
Yeah.
Like going 3 to 4 days sometimes with what felt like no sleep.
I would.
Wow.
Like I'm assuming because your human body can, just shut down without you actually processing that it shut down. So I'm guessing throughout those 3 to 4 nights where I swear I didn't sleep, I would have got a few hours here and there. But I swore as a teenager I'd go 3 days without sleeping easy. And it wasn't like I'd try sleep a lot. I'd do those kind of...
No, I definitely tried my hardest to, because I was working full time. In my teenage years, I was working at a supermarket, making as much money as I could so I could pay for my habit. And
same here. Paper run from 12, that switched to the dairy, that switched to full-time work at 16.
And that was all because of, what you wanted to do recreationally in that way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Not all, but...
That was for me, 100% without a doubt.
All right, I know how to get more people into jobs.
It wasn't all cannabis. I also brought alcohol. I smoked cigarettes at the time to get,
Cigarettes,
and I had 10 mates with no jobs.
We do not advocate that any youth pursue work in this way.
No, I'd like to say that I regret everything. Not everything, but you don't realise when you are in the moment as a teen how much cannabis actually affects your brain chemistry.
No, because it feels so blooming good.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was actually quite smart. I mean, some people still think I'm pretty bright, but I was like finishing high school tests at 11 years old. And then started kind of smoking more to stop my mind from going so fast and just organise thoughts, because a lot of like emotional stuff happened at that time too, when teenage hormones came in the mix and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of my blanket on things. But now I'm getting the effects of that, whereas my memory's not as good. Like all of those things that I could do easily at 10 years old, I now struggle to at 27.
Yeah, I do agree.
What are some of those things at 10 years old that you're referencing there?
Memory, multiplication, all of those kind of things. My brain doesn't work in the same way it did. And looking back, I can tell that the slow decline was directly related to cannabis.
Do you think a part of that's also,
and alcohol, but
going through school? Because I've been feeling this like recently, just like with mental acuity, right? Like, when you're always on the cycle of practicing and refining with, day to day schooling, there's literally hours and hours of practice there. And now you've been out of that for a while. Do you feel like that's a fear?
I do think that is a part to play, but it's also, I think, heavily related to drug and alcohol abuse.
Wow.
So that was a great segue. I loved it. I'm going to change things up now. So we've got a rapid fire section.
The host did not like that. No.
Oh.
No, I loved it, Chad. It was great. Oh,
Man, it's making me reflective.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to call you Chad. Sorry, bro. It's too hard, man. Like, we could blur out a name and just say Fonzie and go over the top Fonzie for every single time we mess it up. But I've only called you Fonzie.
It's like the censor for everything. If someone says fuck, just Fonzie.
All right, so rapid fire round. The answers have to be short and brief.
Oh, better practice that.
Who goes first? Do we take turns, or do we just shout the answer like it's true?
Well, you know, like
slam the table.
Whoever wants to go first, go first. Dream or reality?
What does that mean?
Dream or reality?
The dream is the reality.
Dream or reality? One or the other.
Yeah, I was about to say, what if reality's the dream?
Nah, dream is the reality.
So you want to live in a dream?
I didn't say that.
Dream or reality?
Reality.
Reality. Sweet dreams or deep sleep?
Do you only have to choose one?
Sweet dreams or deep sleep?
Can you not have a deep sleep with sweet dreams?
Deep sleep and nightmares. Let's go.
I just thought you had to get to a certain stage of sleep, which I'd call a deeper sleep.
When you're in a deep sleep, when you're in a deep sleep, you don't tend to dream. That's the thing.
Is it better for you though, eh?
It's just the same. Like, because you normally dream when you're having REM, which is rapid eye movement.
So the question's kind of like, would you rather a more restful sleep without dreaming, or dream and not be so restful?
Say you could hypothetically have a full night of just REM sleep compared to just deep sleep, and you're only having sweet dreams throughout the entire night.
Of course, I'd choose REM sleep. Who wouldn't want to be in a dream reality? Like,
but it feels like 100 years, and every single time you wake up, you feel like 100 years.
So it's kind of like the Rick and Morty game.
I don't think I want to go through that every single time I go to bed.
Sleep early or stay creative.
Oh, I thought it was like a one-off, not a every time.
Every time, yeah.
I mean, maybe
then yeah, this would no longer become reality. The dream world would be your reality.
All right, so
I feel like Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
All right, sleep early or stay creative late.
I already stay creative late, so there you go.
Yeah, if I've got work in the morning, because I'm an old cunt now, I would prefer to sleep early.
Yeah.
But in my younger days, it was...
You're not that old, man.
Yeah, but still younger days. In the good old days.
Before I had my cane.
Yep.
You just sidetracked me. I do have a cane in storage somewhere that I need to claim back. It was my
I was thinking
granddad's.
about when you're on the beach pretending to be an old man that time.
Oh, well then, yeah.
So
always need a good walking stick on the beach.
what about a dream journal? Forget it and move on.
Dream journal would be good practice. I did that for
I
a
would
while.
prefer to dream journal, and I've heard some of Fabian's stuff, which is really cool, and I like the idea of it. I'm just not proactive enough to wake up and go, oh, dream. I'm like, wake up, and I'm like, oh,
No,
coffee.
I tend to do it like halfway through the day and just like vaguely remember the dream.
The thing is, once you get into the habit of actually trying to remember in the morning as you wake up, you get really good and you remember, or I found, like every single night I dream. And you just forget it. So,
So
quick side question, because it's come into my head about 3 times now. Okay, have you ever woken up and been like confused for a period of time on what reality you are in?
yeah,
no, I don't think so.
yeah.
Because I remember I was doing
I've woken up in the dream thinking it was real and then it wasn't. But I've never
So,
woken
like,
up.
I hate
reverse.
that. I hate
yeah,
that.
I've never done something like that. I've never been able to lucid dream or actually be aware that I'm dreaming in the moment.
I've done that too.
But I did get woken up abruptly. Like I was planned to be up at this time. I had alarm set and everything, but I got woken probably 5 minutes before my alarm. And I woke up and I did not know if I was still dreaming or not. It was like my mind clicked that I was like alert and alive. But I was like, am I lucid dreaming right now? Like I've never done this before. But it was my uncle calling me on the phone and he's like, hey man, are you ready? And I'm like, what? And he goes, are you ready? Like I'm going to come down and put the trailer on your car or whatever, because we were going to a plant market. And I was so confused, and I was like, oh, and then I kind of clicked a little bit and went, yep, nah, sweet. Got up, had a coffee. The whole time I was just going, is this real? And just
Holy,
felt
it's uncomfortable.
so out of it, and like everything had this slight buzz to it almost. And I had to, like, I got in the car, hooked up the trailer, said hi to my uncle, and drove. I think we drove about 20 minutes down the road from Whitehead to Inglewood, and it wasn't until I pulled into the plant sale that I was actually like, whoa, okay, I'm on Earth, I'm here, and everything like connected. Before that, it felt like I was lucid dreaming.
That's uncomfortable.
But I wasn't. It was reality. It was so weird to experience. And I actually, like, when I got there, my mum was there helping us with the plant sale and stuff, and sold our parks, and I told her all about it, and she was looking at me like, oh, you know, the drugged up teenager again, because this was only about 9 months ago.
Oh, that is so good. I love that. That's so cool.
Strangest feeling ever.
Wow. I wonder what it actually was.
One last one. If you could lucid dream every night, would you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a good way to practice your, like...
Well, I kind of relate it to tripping again, and I used to like it so much because I was able, well, in reference, I'm talking about DMT at this point, and I did it a lot, so I got to the point where I could control pretty much exactly what I wanted to see. So I'd sit there and be like, I would like to feel these kind of emotions, maybe this style of visual, and I don't want it to be longer than this much. And it would actually follow suit, and I was able to guide everything.
Wow.
And so, like, at one point, I'd put music on, and music notes would start bouncing up into the gear and following along with the beat. And then I could sit there. I was sitting there like Matilda, just directing everything across the room. And like, I never danced before that either.
How
tangible I just had
tangible
this trip
was
one
it?
day.
Did it, like, look as real, or...?
It looked as real as real.
Wow.
Like, with DMT, it's a very high-end psychedelic. It's one of the most powerful that you can get. So if you have a certain amount, you are literally not on this earth anymore. You believe you are somewhere else. So one of the best trips I ever heard of on DMT, the guy who taught me how to extract it and make it and everything like that, he gave it to an old musician couple, and they experienced a joint trip where they stood on the beach, like 90 Mile Beach kind of thing, just endless like golden sand, they said, and they stared at each other's eyes in silence until the wave, like the tide, rose and got up to their chest and sunk back down again. And so to them, they said it felt like 8 to 10 hours of just, they said it was pure ecstasy almost, like pure connection with their partner and all of that kind of, you know, like the way they talked about it was beautiful, and I can't
Were they just climaxing?
re-describe it. But they were just solid eye contact the whole way up, whole way down, and then their trip ended. And they both experienced the exact same thing, like told it, speaking in unison.
It's amazing.
Almost.
It's amazing.
And I heard so many different things like that were just so awesome. And
wow. What's going on with the everyday here, Chad?
See it.
We gotta go down to the beach.
That's one thing I lucid dreaming, I would probably not want to be able to do that every night, because you'd get stuck in a sense of
you want some surprise?
Yeah, like realistically, like you'd be stuck in a sense of, is this real? Is this not? When I'm awake, am I awake in my dreams, or am I awake in real life?
You realize you're dreaming.
I think
I
have an addicted like personality type, so I reckon I'd get addicted to that, and I'd like do everything I could to keep sleeping so that I could dream and control the world and all.
Exactly,
you know,
and when you're lucid dreaming, the power is infinite, so you could essentially do whatever you want, go wherever you want, within one dream.
Oh, actually, I have had one lucid dream in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's powerful.
I was living in Inglewood at the time, and I was just, I used to walk the streets at night, you know, as a teenager doing random shit. And one day I was dreaming, and I was walking right through the centre of Inglewood. I know the exact place I was standing. I still remember it to this day. It's like on the corner where the bottle store is, on the back entrance.
Yeah, I know.
And I like walked in, and I just felt almost weightless, like I was hanging on strings was the kind of thing. Like I was walking, but I wasn't feeling my weight come back down.
Uh-huh.
And I remember just like looking around and it was just street lights, darkness, like at night. And I jumped and I went like 100 meters in the air and kind of float there, swinging my legs like you see in the movies, and then came back down and landed again and was like, what? And then I woke up. And that was it.
Yeah, lucid dreams are powerful, man. Like as soon as you actually realize that you are dreaming in your dream and you start controlling that dream, like you can spin that entire reality into however you want it. Like you can change it to say you want to see how life would be if everything was perfect for you, nothing ever went wrong. You can control that in your version of perfection of yourself, and then you'd never want to leave.
I'm so bad at tangents today. That's another
amazing.
question
I'm
for you.
loving it. Perfect. Fire away.
How would you actually feel if life was always perfect, and if everything that has gone wrong in your life went perfect? Because, like, one, you wouldn't be the you that you are now. All of those mistakes and things that go wrong essentially create who you are now. So you'd be sacrificing that to have these perfect things. And would life still have its zest?
Is that me?
Blasphemy! We're recording. But you know, if everything goes well, would you still have the same zest for life because you don't have anything to strive for, because everything kind of just happens for you and is perfect and is well?
Yeah, I think you'd be a lot less.
Does that not give the meaning to life, having those things go wrong and things to strive for?
I love that question. And so, like, an example that I relate to with that is that when there's hard times and tragedy, those are actually really amazing moments that draw out the leadership in a person. Because you have to take that responsibility and you have to stand up and you have to, you know, be the example in those times for others, because those times are hard and not everyone can do that. And so it sort of reminds me of all these like latent qualities that everyone has, but you don't actually get the chance to show. And so a really easy analogy of this is like, if you're a really great swordsman, no one's going to know the level of your skill until you meet an opponent that draws that out of you.
Yeah.
You know, if you sword battle a 6-year-old, well, you can't really show.
I'm the greatest swordsman who can only be a 6-year-old.
Well, it's you can't show the
emotions too, like compassion.
See,
you can't really have compassion without sorrow or something to be compassionate towards.
That's
if
exactly true.
Well, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have sadness. You'd kind of not have happiness because it would be made redundant by the absence of sadness.
Yeah, to be a supportive friend, like the person you're supporting, like the level of support you can give depends on the need and to some degree. And so there's that relationship to things. And so I think in relationship specifically to your question, like the zest of who you are in that way, I think, yeah, the demonstration of one's internal will and one's internal knowing, the sense of self, you'd probably lose it a lot, I think.
One thing I find hard to, you know, think about that question is, what is perfection? You know, realistically, like it's a question to your question, but that's probably an answer that everyone needs to think about.
I'd say it's individually defined, kind of like religion, politics, and anything else we put our mind to. It's like colours.
Exactly.
Okay?
Like the way
I think we've all thought of this before.
So
you're looking at black.
Yeah.
But that's because you've been programmed your whole life to look at what this shade is to you and call it black. What if your black is actually my white? And my green is your red. And, you know, we'd have no way of knowing because we all end up associating what we see with that colour black.
Yeah, so henceforth, that going back to what I was trying to say is, so your life's already perfect. Don't need to change a thing.
But we all want to.
Even if you've had a shit life, right? Shit's just been handed to you left, right, and centre. Depends on if you're gonna eat that shit or throw that shit out, regurgitate it, and then keep on taking it back in. Then your life ain't gonna be so perfect. But
Okay, you
hey,
lost me with the regurgitation.
regurgitating that shit out and then just leaving it out there and learning from your lesson and not doing it again, so you can teach other people. Right?
Okay, I'll come back. I need a drink.
You've lost me at regurgitation. I mean, yeah, I feel like the definition of perfect to some degree would be that everything you
recorded.
everything you
Too sore if I had enough storage in it.
everything you try for would just work, wouldn't it?
Perfect.
Like if you wanted to put yourself into a lottery, you just win it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to compete in a sports contest,
So
you'd
like
probably,
that type of perfection.
I feel like maybe
Well, I
that's
have a
because I'm
drink too,
achievement
please,
driven.
sir. So I didn't want to cut Fabian off.
I was trying to be sneaky and not put it in the camera.
Well,
Not everyone needs a refill.
Hey, but you can't see it
cranberry
behind.
juice.
You can't see it behind my screen, so it's okay.
Some nice antioxidants for the boys.
But coming back to the lucid dreaming thing, like part of my attraction to that is that you could practice different scenarios and experiences in the cognitive sense, which with neuroplasticity, which would make you more primed for real world experiences. And so there's been a lot of studies on that with basketball players.
I was about to ask
Just
if
imagining
anybody is actually working on a kind of technology that can use dreaming to help implement other skills.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
So say sports,
Like,
a rally car driver needs to improve his reflexes, so you put him into some kind of dream program that subconsciously
Like
increases the
like
Triggers
a
that.
scientist,
Trigger.
we're able to
And
record
yeah.
your dreams, and you're able to watch it back like a movie.
or something like that.
So you can analyze it, you can pause it frame by frame and see what you can actually do to improve yourself. And
I'm
then
just
go back to sleep, then replay that
I
dream
like the
again.
idea more of what if it was audio cues, and so when you're asleep, you play the race car noises, you have the countdown beeps of the lights changing, and that triggers your thinking so that you have a mental focus towards that inherently. I don't know what the quality of practice could be.
like
though.
on TV.
But is that not
Like-
what like subliminal messages and like
I swear I've
Yeah.
seen that a few
Training.
times on TV, like teenager in high school doesn't study for a test, gets it on an audio book and just puts it on while they're asleep and get the test the next day kind of thing.
Maybe it works. I don't know.
I
what if
reckon
it-
it'd work for
what-
some people, but you'd have to have almost, what is it, an eidetic memory to...
Oh, the photographic.
like we could train one of us to
Uh-oh.
look at an image of coding, but every single time we say Patron, you think of coding, and then you see an image in your head. Oh, I've got to do coding. Patron,
Well, yeah.
coding. No, and that's what you're going to think of because it's a correlation to that word. So if you can play that while people are sleeping, every time they hear Patron, coding.
Welcome to MK Ultra, Chad.
Brainwashing 101. That is like how they brainwash people. Like they keep on playing the same thing over and over, saying this is what this is in their sleep. And I think that's what
I
they
think-
used to do to torture people to
Yeah, I
get
think-
It's
information.
like,
out
why
of
do
them.
you think Coke, Sprite and all those kind of things, people in the westernized world automatically know what they are? You don't need to say much to know that Sprite is lemonade or, all of those kind of correlations, but it's because since we were little, they've been on TV constantly, they've been on the radio constantly,
are
they've been
saturated.
everywhere constantly, so it's kind of like an automatic staple in the Western society, same as like McDonald's now. Everyone gets brought up knowing what McDonald's are if you're attached to...
Carl Jung must be so upset. The wrong symbols, man.
Probably, but we do work a lot through those symbols. That's why they still
100%.
use them.
What were you saying? I forgot.
Well,
I was too busy trying to debunk.
no, Chad was
my
just
theory.
putting forward how big brands, they're so saturated that we know them really, really well, just intuitively. And it's kind of a shame because there's better symbols and better conscious cognitive experiences that we could be actually relating to.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what that conditioning during sleep is called hyponapedia. Hypnopaedia.
Huh. All right. Played sounds of videos while people slept to see if learning could occur. Results: people don't absorb complex information during deep sleep. It can register simple associations, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it can't do complex things, could you still use it for like treatment of, say, depression, anxiety, PTSD, those kind of things, so that you are constantly altering the mind into a more positive state.
Changing the
than-
direction. Yeah.
Yeah, because if
They're
it
all
can pick up on
programs like
subtle
MK
changes
Ultra.
and you do it over a consecutive period, there's probably some progress in that for like mood enhancement and development.
Yeah, I think that's true. This makes me think of video games and films and media. Like, a lot of people watch whatever, but if you're actually careful about what you take in, you can actually do those transitions on your own, if that makes sense. Like, you can lead yourself into a healthier mental state in life.
Well,
I
that's
found that with
one
music.
thing I don't like. Currently, the hottest thing on Netflix is the Ed Gein serial killer remake.
Yeah.
So it's a
Okay.
Texas
picture
Chainsaw
based
Massacre.
on his life and the murders and stuff. If you don't know, he
I don't know.
was a grave robber and murderer. So
He killed his mum
actually.
with her face.
Holy crap.
Well, that's conjecture. It's not actually
Yeesh.
proven. It was another lady whose face he wore, but
Oh.
yeah, he'd dig up bodies, make stuff like lampshades out of their skin and different things. But it talks in the movie about, or in the series, about how he saw photos of the concentration camps in World War II.
Yeah.
And that's what triggered him to kind of do those kind of things, because he didn't have an understanding of what was happening. And so they reckon that he was digging up these bodies and doing this stuff to kind of make sense of it in his own head. But while they're putting that point across, like they show, I think it's 8 or 10 quite graphic murders in it, and him, skinning people and cutting them up and wearing their face and hair and body
In
and
front of little
all of
kids.
this kind of stuff. While they've said that just a few photos from World War II of concentration camps made this guy this way, and yet let's put even more graphic stuff in like a series and put that up for the world to see. Like, that's not going to create similar
Probably.
issues
Did he
later
not
on.
also
Wow.
kill his
Out of
father?
it.
Not in the movie, no.
In the series, he kills his father.
No, I don't believe he does.
It's either his brother or his father.
His
that
brother.
He kills his brother.
Yeah.
Who killed
So
his father?
so there's 8 to 10 people in it that he kills, but he only ever admitted to 2 of them. The rest is what they they're pretty sure that they happened, but they don't actually know. They've kind of just added that for production value.
I fell asleep watching it.
Yeah.
I was-
Oh, it's a bit hard to follow along too,
I
because
was
like he
hungover.
digs up. Sorry, spoilers, people. You should have known when I mentioned it. But he digs up goes to dig up his mum's grave after she dies, but he couldn't because it was like a metal. What do you call them? Casket. Coffin. So she whispered to him in his head, "Dig up my neighbour." It's the same thing essentially. So he dug up the neighbour
took a hit.
from his mum and brought her home, and then throughout the series he starts seeing his mum and talking to her, and it's the body of the woman next to his mum.
He would start dressing up as his mum.
No, his 2 victims that he confirmed to killing, they said that it was because they were like reminded him of his mum essentially.
What's going
But
on
it's
there?
like they put multiple sex scenes in it as well, when he said he never had sex in his life. Like, his mum was "You're Christian, any woman who has sex out of marriage is a Jezebel," and blah, and they like put that in it too. But just the fact that they took, like, they pretty much say this is what like triggered these events, and then do something way worse and put it on the screen. Like, I know there'll be age restrictions and stuff like that, but just having it out there and this popular means that some young people are going to watch it, or even older people, and could go down that same track.
Why is it so popular?
Because
It's
of the
just
Texas Chainsaw
true
Massacre,
crime.
that's what it was based off of.
True crime, everyone seems to get behind, but a lot of psychologists are coming out and saying if you actually enjoy watching the Ed Gein series, there's something wrong with you psychologically.
I enjoy the Jeffrey Dahmer one.
Oh, I reckon they're like well-made shows, and it is interesting, but I haven't, like, we got to
I haven't
end of the
rewatched
4th
them.
episode at the moment, and I don't know if the missus wants to watch anymore.
Did you watch?
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
like
Did you
he
watch
sound
the one
good.
He
about the
just
two
dismembered
brothers?
a chick and hung her up from her ankles in a barn and cut 2 guys up with chainsaws and which is where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre apparently came from, because it was a rumor that he got rid of 2 hunters with a chainsaw. And
Oh, jeez.
Did you watch
Holy
the
crap.
other one with the 2 brothers?
I haven't seen that one, just the Dharma one.
The one with the 2 brothers isn't
But
as bad,
You
but
get
it's good.
like true crime podcasts are highly up there. It's just something that people are fascinated with. I mean, I find it interesting more the story of how they got on the path, not what they actually did. Like I still can't wrap my head around someone being able to do that.
Well, at least you're not waking up to Ed Gain's face in your dreams.
I think,
Is that what's happening to
I think
you?
the one good thing from those series is that, like, when you watch them, there are telltale signs that they were doing what they were doing. But people being people, you don't actually think that someone's going to be, like in Dharma's case, eating people. He was a cannibal. Or in Ed's case, skinning people and wearing them alive. Like, they just thought he was a little bit special kind of thing. Like, not all there, but... Yeah, so I guess it does show you to look out for certain signs like that of people not being mentally well and, take a bit more note that these things do happen, because there is a blissful ignorance to those kind of things, especially in our society today. Like, we still get a lot of, ram raids and shootings and different things, but the actual horrific stuff in your own neighbourhood kind of thing, you don't believe it's going to happen.
I don't there hasn't been a case like that in New Zealand in so long.
Well, it depends. Not that bad.
No.
But,
Like, there have been
the
bad
farmer
cases.
that got killed out Okura, or out coast, I can't remember if it was Okura or Okado, that was pretty damn hectic.
I
Did you
don't
guys
know
not
the
hear
story.
about that?
I have no idea.
I
Was this
haven't-
recently, Chad?
It was only a year or 2 ago.
Ah,
Was
jeez.
it
And
the
it was-
young one?
Yeah, this farm assistant
And he got dragged
that these
behind
guys
the
didn't
cars?
like. Yeah, and they tied him to a car and
yeah.
dragged him along the gravel road until he died.
Yeah, because he owed them money.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was more an employment issue or something like that. But anyway, that happened 10 k's down the road from where I live.
Yeah, no, I definitely did hear about that.
Holy
You
crap.
know, you
I
still
knew
get the
that
king
people-
hits. We had one not long ago, and
like-
everyone is really fired up about it because the
The
guy
what
only
hits?
got 4 years. King hits.
What does that mean?
So you're in town and it's a 1-hit kill.
That's happened on a
Oh.
rugby field.
Right.
So you get hit. Normally, you drop. The back of your head hits the curb, and you're gone. So a coward's punch, it's also called, because normally it's not done in a fair fight.
Because I believe that happened on a rugby field after a game, or at one of
Oh,
the
it's happened
events.
many times. I remember when I moved over to Australia, it was a massive problem over in Australia, and they started bringing in some strict rules over it. And now they're doing big campaigns in New Zealand to get stricter rules. Because, especially for the one that just happened, I don't know if it was actually directly in New Plymouth or not, but it was a New Plymouth guy affected.
No, it was.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't New
Happened at
Plymouth.
Tukapa.
But yeah, the rugby club, that's right. So he got king hit, and then the guy took a video of it and started bragging. So filmed his last moments, and he got 4.5 years. It would have been 10, but he pleaded guilty. So they take, I think it was 40% off your sentence straight away for saying that he was guilty, and then there were extra, leniences put on.
Oh, man.
I think we should, end the slick talking about here, because we're starting to talk about local politics here now.
Oh, dude.
It was a bit of a tangent.
It was. I loved it.
I don't know if I loved it. There might be something wrong with it, Dylan.
Well, it isn't a nice topic to talk about, but I think it's things that still need to be talked about, even if it's just for awareness purposes. Like, I don't know
Peace out.
law and stuff like that. Till next time on Unscripted.
Thanks for watching episode 1 of Unscripted. Dylan, Chad, and Fabian, they're great blokes. I mean, I'm Dylan. What are you talking about? This one definitely took a few turns. A couple of deep dives and more than a few detours, but that's exactly what we're here for. If you enjoyed the ride, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. It helps more than you think. It keeps this whole thing growing. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode of Unscripted. You know what to do.